smoke is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
Left me out of the image on that too. Yeah, left me out of the New York Post. Y'all ain't even add me to the
y'all
call.
left my son
Y'all ain't
on
gonna
Bad and
lie.
Bougie.
Wait, hold up.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. I quit.
No,
yo.
this little cloud to it now.
Me leaving would not make a dent in that 1.5. Them niggas said.
You work for free?
Them niggas said. They said they started trying to break down like what we make.
Oh yeah.
Niggas said Imani $50K and his rent paid.
Shit. That's a lot.
Joe, you fucking nuts?
That is a lot.
$50K
I don't know
plus
what your rent
12
is.
months rent in New York City ain't about to be a low number.
Well, listen what I'm saying. When you start to equate
with your
to
feet.
your bills and everything else that's comes into place in your living situation, 80, 90K isn't a lot.
It's not a lot. It's not bad though.
I'm with you.
It's not bad, but it's not
Especially
a
if
lot.
we're hypothetically speaking about someone who works half days, 2 days a week.
So,
And I don't know. Are we talking about Rolex owners?
And if it's
I'm
50,
asking.
then you get.
All right, y'all. We are back with the files. You know what's going on. Y'all heard what Imani just said. 80 to 90K in New York City ain't enough when you factor in your expenses. That's what he just said. And instead of acknowledging that in reality, instead of leaning into that vulnerable moment, Joe Budden hit back with, are we talking about Rolex owners?
I don't know. Are we talking about Rolex owners?
And if it's
I'm
50,
asking.
then you get.
Owners? Now, why would Joe do that? Why would he bring up Imani having a Rolex? Now, right? Was that just to shut down a convo? Or was that to embarrass Imani? That wasn't just a joke. That was a form of financial manipulation, right? We all know about that. We watched the pod. We know how Joe be doing that financial abuse. That's low-key gaslighting. And the message was clear. Don't talk about your money, E. Right? Don't talk about your money struggles if you're out here flexing. Don't be out here talking about the money struggles if you're out here flexing. Now, Imani was talking about having was talking about 80 to 90K not being enough, but he got a rollie. I ain't got a rollie, you know what I mean? So I ain't gonna talk crazy, but Imani can't be talking about 80, 90K ain't a lot, and he walking around with a rollie, man. You know what I'm saying? Just don't add up. But here's the thing. Everyone at the JBP, everyone at the table sounded like they feeling underpaid right now. It's not just Imani. It's Ice, Mark, Ish. They all started letting, little truth slip out. Especially Ice and Mark, right? Who emphasize how much behind the scenes work they've been doing. Writing topics, producing content, carrying weight beyond just talking. Right? They getting a little crazy. Then Mark took it further. Right? And this is where it gets spicy. Right? Saying straight up, we all deserve a 50% raise. A 50% raise, Mark? That's not a small ass, homie. That's a declaration of value. That's Mark, letting Joe know we're just not the help. We are partners. Mark is like doing a lot over there. He's ruffling up a lot of, he's doing a lot of crazy stuff, man. Mark, chill out, dog. I got some questions for y'all. Let me ask y'all this real quick, though. If on one of the biggest podcasts in the world, with clips going viral weekly, and you're making 6 figures or just under 6 figures, right? Do you feel like that's fair? Should Imani and them be making more? Right? Or is Joe right to hold that line? Let me know what you guys think. Like, because they could be acting different because they know that Joe's making $900K to $1 million a month. And they can be like, yo, that 1.5 that I'm getting ain't enough, homie. Got to up that. But, are they right? Let me know. Right? Now, Here's where the convo really got interesting also. The internet has been saying Imani only makes $56K a year with rent allegedly being paid by the show. He wasn't feeling that narrative at all. Imani wasn't jacking that. Like he ain't like that. So what did Imani do? He jokingly says, "I quit." Right? Not only because of that, but because he was left out of the New York Times article as well. But the room got real quiet because it wasn't really a joke. It was one of those serious jokes, the kind that I've been holding this in for a while tone, right? It kind of felt like that, and people on Twitter been saying, Imani does have a lot inside him that he be holding back, that he be really wanting to say to Joe and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe we wake that up on another day. Then Joe responded, well, that 1.5 million just got smaller. Now let's pause right there. What does that mean? Was that a reminder that he's the one cutting the checks? I think so. You know what I'm saying? Also, Joe's letting Imani know, like, if you leave, I guess, you know what I'm saying? It's going to get lower. But Imani's like, what? If I leave, it ain't going to do a dent. It ain't going to do a dent in that 1.5. You know what I'm saying? So if the number is 1.5 million and Imani is, say, getting 100K, how much do you think that gets divided by the other cast? Now, Imani did highlight in this episode about independent contractors, and it had me thinking, is Imani an independent contractor? Does he have a contract? Like, which one is it? I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe Imani is an independent contractor. That's probably why he feels like he won't make a dent in that 1.5 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? He probably feels less of himself because he probably doesn't feel like he has a contract like Ish or like a Mark Lamont Hill or anybody else. Right? Now, Mark Lamont Hill is slick with the tongue. Pause. Right? He's slick though. He went on what I call a sneak rant. He cloaked it like he was defending Imani, but really it was a masterclass in strategic pressure. Mark brought up how Imani once said nobody on the pod should complain about how hard they work or being on time or how long it takes to prep, right? Then Mark used that to twist the knife, right? If we're talking 1.5 million, then yeah, y'all get paid enough. That's what Mark reiterated that the Twitter people said, right? Because on Twitter, people were saying, yo, if y'all come in twice a week and y'all do all of that, and they got to divide 1.5 million between 6 of y'all, then y'all probably get overpaid. You know what I'm saying? But Mark, he flips it, right? He starts listing all the stuff the cast does outside of the actual recordings, right? He starts talking about the homework that they do, the research, the planning, and says straight up, I know these guys go home and prep. But Imani, right, he was like, nah, like, that sounds good or whatever, but I know that's not what everybody does. You know what I'm saying? And Flip even took Imani's side and was like, yo, these dudes come up here and they be freestyling. Because, I don't think Flip really likes what Mark Lamont Hill was trying to do. And Joe pointed it out as well. In this clip. Check it out.
That don't matter. You have to work to prep for this job. True. If you watch the show,
it's work.
If we do 12 hours a week of showtime, then we watch 12 hours. That's 24.
You have to. It's not always done though.
And then when we come up with the topics for the board, the board topics, that's another 3 or 4 hours.
Niggas just come over here.
I hear what you're saying.
Then when we read for the topics,
you would like to think that everyone goes home.
I know that everyone does that.
Some niggas come in here and just
Don't
equate
fight
the
him.
topic and chill out.
Let him get his WME shit off. All the shit his agent told him.
No.
Hey, we got to write the board.
Right. Shit, in fact, we should
Mel tried that early. That board shit
I think we need a 50% raise based on the amount of time we
I agree with that too, but 50% of what?
Of what we get now. Whatever you get, I think we should get 50% more. Can we all agree on that?
Here.
That's all.
Right? Joe pointed out how Melissa Ford did the same thing. Right? She tried this same tactic. Right? Talking about all the stuff she did, all her worth, and all that. He was like, yo, cut it, man. Cut that. Like, Mark was really trying it. He really had the bait on the fishing rod. And what the rest of them do? They took the bait. They was like little fish in a pond. They took the bait. They started defending their work ethic, started airing out frustrations. Oh my God, it's crazy. Joe's taking off apart. I want to see how this is gonna go. I want to see how it goes when he comes back. I want to see how they do. Now, that was the moment they really showed their cards to me, though. You know, I saw it. I didn't believe it, but I didn't think this would happen. Now Jordan says something that made me sit up a little bit. He jokes that he might need to call up the Bagfield podcast and squash the beef because, you know, Heineken and them over there, they said they predicted this. They predicted this whole scenario that the cast would start moving funny. You know, Bagfield said once the JBP cast sees what the show actually makes, they'll start acting differently. And now here we are. Pay attention, passive aggression, people jokingly that they're quitting. Doesn't this all sound familiar? Right? Sound familiar to me. Now, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this the exact same energy that started the fall off of Rory and Mal? Murmurs about not being paid fairly, questions about ownership versus salary, Joe joking in ways that really weren't jokes, gaslighting cast members when they asked for clarity or more money. And let's not forget, Rory literally got kicked off the show for saying he wasn't happy. Sound familiar, right? Who's the new Rory? Is Mark playing more with the conscience and clever critique? Are we watching the next blow up happen in slow motion? How much do you think each cast member? How much do you think each cast member should be making? Is Joe wrong for bringing up Rolexes when people are talking about financial stress? Do you think this crew will survive the next 6 months if contracts don't change? And here's the biggest one. Should the JBP start giving out equity if they want to keep their people long term? I mean, hey, they say they're giving Mark equity in the Ian and Mark show. So why not give Mark and Ish that equity? They've been there. I mean, it's only fair. Listen, man. Y'all listening to Dub. You know I got the files. You know we don't whisper in the group chat. We air it all out. I'm here with the mess. Tap into the socials on X at the Files with Dub. You know what I mean? On IG at the Files with Dub. You know what I mean? Look me up on Patreon. I Can't Dub Me Podcast. I got all the links down there in the descriptions. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm not going to be out here giving y'all false narratives. You know what I'm saying? Stretching the work and all of that. I ain't going to be doing that. I heard a video earlier today. Elevation video. He talking about, I'm going to do a video about this too, but mine's going to be a little bit different. But I'm going to just talk about this right quick at the end of my video. He was talking about, the Joe Budden podcast, they got changes and they bringing somebody new. Yeah, they bringing somebody new on, right? most likely it's going to be Mona. Don't call me white girl. That's who it's mainly going to be. However, right, he was throwing Superhead out there. Like, I get it. Like, homie said like 4 different people. He was just throwing like every different possible outcome out there so that if any one of them come on there, he could be right and say, see, guys, look, I was right all from the start. No, man. No, that's not genuine. That's not real science. That's not real files. That's not how you really do this, bro. Like, you gotta, like, you know what I mean? You can't be just dropping so much. I be fiending too sometimes. I be wanting to drop. I be seeing Danny drop. I be seeing chicks drop. But you know, like, I ain't trying to run that rat race, God. I heard you in your last video. You was like, you took a break because you trying to think. I understand. I know I'll be there sometimes too, be thinking about the content we all there. But you know, there's just some constructive criticism. I like what you doing, homie. But like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said there's room for all of us. There is. But you just gotta know how to do it. You know, Joe just amping you because he wants somebody to go at Danny. You know what I mean? He did that with me and Danny too. He tried to do that, but it ain't gonna work because it's the we works, baby. You know what I mean? And you can't dub me. You know what I mean? We can't dub us. Listen, sign up for the Patreon so I can't dub you. It's $4. Holla at me. And we'll be back with the files. Oh yeah. It's Vision. Queens. Holla at them. You already know.
My guy Dub too. That's my man though.
Gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.